once you had to make a decision to retire from the Giants, how quickly did you start thinking about triple jump, and what was sort of the process to make that final decision?
Well, the initial process was, what's next when I got the news? Like, all right, what can I do now? Because I'm only 23 years old. After that, I went on and, thought about stuff that I was good at. And then I thought about track. I was state champion, national champion my junior year. State champion, national champion my senior year. Then I went to college, as you know. She just mentioned I was All-American. And I had never practiced for track or triple jump. It was mostly all just like football training. And I always put football first. Even in college when I was running, you can ask my coach, Charles Foster. He had to deal with me coming late to track practice often because I was leaving football practice or workouts. Only time that track was first was on meet days, like when we actually had a track meet. Same thing in high school. So now I'm interested to see where I can go and how good I can be, and my goal is to make the Olympic team in 2016. This meet again is just to get my feet wet and start my pro career in New York, where one of my pro careers ended. And that was the thought process, and I was like, why not? Why not?
So once you kind of think why not, and who did you call first? How did you get yourself to the point where you were now training like a professional track athlete?
First I kind of knew the steps myself, so I was training myself to like try to trim down and lose weight. Then I ended up moving out to San Diego, where I trained at the Olympic training facility. Go ahead.
Did you share with anybody your new goal at first, or were you training privately just to see how you would come back because you'd been out of the sport for so long? Did you kind of keep it to yourself for a while? Or?
Yeah, I was in the media a lot with my first career ended, and I mentioned it a couple times throughout then, so people kind of had the feel. And actually, Johnny Shelton, my team chaplain from Virginia Tech, called me. He's now the team chaplain for the Baltimore Ravens. Right after I got injured and made my announcement, and he was like, so now you know what you got to do, right? And I was like, what? And he was like, the Olympics. You told me when you was a freshman in college that you wanted to play pro football and then jump in the Olympics. And here I am, trying to make it.
What was your first day like back, jumping in the pit and doing?
My first day back, it wasn't really like an initial day, like this is my first day back, because I don't remember that day.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a regular practice, and then it was, excited and different. Definitely different from football practice. But when people ask me, they be like, I think they was looking for the track to like film me or something, and it was like, you jump in the sand, right? And that's kind of like my occupation now. I jump in the sand.
Nick?
David, what was the specific hamstring injury? Which hamstring, and when did you sustain it?
I sustained it preparing for a previous track meet, and it's my right one.
What was the previous track meet that you had intended on competing in?
One in Chula Vista at the Olympic training facility.
When was that meet?
2 weeks ago.
Would you say you're 100% now, or where are you?
I feel like it. Yeah.
You said something interesting. My first career ended, and you said you had to say that at age 23. When that was thrust upon you, did you go through a period where you felt angry or sad or just bewildered about what do I do now? Clearly, you turned it into a positive outcome, but what were those emotions like when you wouldn't be a giant anymore?
I mean, it's sad to hear it, but at the same time, it's not sad enough to give up on living, because football is like one part of one thing that I wanted to do in my lifetime. And like I said, Johnny Shelton, my team chaplain, even knew that. He even had knowledge of that. Like, okay, you told me you'd do other stuff too, though. And I think when people don't live for one thing. If you're living for one thing, most of the time you not living. You should have plenty of reasons you're living and plenty of reasons to wake up every day and work for something.
When you line up on Saturday, you're actually gonna get ready to go. What thoughts are gonna go through
I don't know
your head?
what
are
to
you gonna be
expect.
thinking about?
I don't know what to expect. The last time I jumped was 2011, in a full speed approach and in competition. So I'll probably have a lot of adrenaline, and just as the crowd is anticipating, I'll be anticipating, and that'll be an exciting part.
Larry?
What kind of jumps have you done in workouts?
The furthest I've been back was 8 steps,
Okay.
8-step approach, and with that approach I went 53, and that's when I injured I got injured on that jump. Well, it was 51, not 53, 51. And
Was it cramping, or what did you feel?
it felt like a cramp, but it didn't go away, so they said it was a strain.
Okay.
So
And how many steps would you use in a full approach?
in the full approach, it'll be 12.
Nick?
Do you have interest in any other events?
Yeah, eventually, actually, I do. I want to see how I can perform in long jump and also maybe sprint.
Nick?
David, do you know what you need to jump to qualify for the US Championships? And if you don't get it here on Saturday, will there be another meet that you could, or is this your only chance to qualify?
This is it. But the standard is documented somewhere to qualify. But word from my coach is most guys wouldn't jump. They take about 13 jumpers, and most guys wouldn't jump the standard. So if you jump the standard, you'll definitely be in. But he said it wouldn't take the standard to get in. But like I said, I want to jump 55 feet. But I'll consider it successful and a win if I left the track Saturday and was qualified for the USA's.
When you mentioned in college and high school it was kind of a part-time thing, how good would you say your technique was? Even coming into this year, now as a pro, compared to what someone should probably would be as a pro.
Anybody that see me jump, they just be like, you muscle the whole thing. It's just like, it's not much technique to my jump, but it don't look bad. But anybody that knows, like, it's corrections that can be made. And my coach been working with me and trying to, still in the process of making some of those corrections. But with the numbers, the distance, all that matters is the tape measure. And without practice and coaching and all these facilities and stuff to help me, I was pleased with the distances I was going. So now, when I pursue this and make it my main focus, I'm excited to see what I can do.
Dave, do you miss football?
Yeah, every day. Yeah.
What do you miss about it?
I don't know. I was in an interview the other day, this morning or whatever. And
He's been busy tonight.
yeah, I used the analogy of me missing football is like you being in love with a girl and she break up with you. It's different if you didn't really want her anymore and like, alright, like I found somebody else and I'm breaking up with you. But if she broke up with you, you're gonna think about that a little bit, mostly daily probably, about what could have been with that girl. So that's how football is for me.
Tom Coughlin was so complimentary about the way that you left the smile on your face, your positive attitude. He said, once a giant, always a giant. Do you still feel close to that feeling?
Oh yeah. I mean, as soon as I announced that I'm running track, all these Giant fans and Hokie fans are talking about, oh, now I'm watching track. I can't wait to see you. And you know, that's always been a Giant. I got that support, and you know, that's why I couldn't miss the meet in New York. I was like, this is perfect. So I'm excited to see what I can do.
Now that you're back in New York, have you been in touch with any your former teammates or coaches?
Yeah. I mean, even before, I'd always been in touch with him. Randall, which was like one of my best friends. Odell, Coach McAdoo, and Johnson. A couple other players.
Is anyone coming on planning on
already definitely confirmed he's coming, and some other guys definitely want to make it. But I'll be back on the 26th of June with a charity softball game with St. Jude's Hospital, and it's to raise money for those kids. And a lot of my Giant players, fellow Giant players, will be there. Odell, Michael Vick, and a couple other names, Ruben Jennings. So y'all can write that up, and I just want people to come support that, because it's a way to change lives, because those kids, they can't support for themselves, and if we can raise a good enough sum for them, it'll be important, because I know what injuries can be like and how it can affect you. So being able to have a charity game for them will be special.
Obviously, training for track versus training for football is very different. Are there things you like better about training for track? Are there things that you don't like as much as training for football that are harder to keep yourself motivated with?
Like me, I like when you win as a team, it's like so special. You ask what I missed about football. And it's like we came together as a group, and we made it work as a group. But vice versa to that is I like the individuality of track and field. When you get on the track and compete, you can't say he didn't throw the ball high enough or far enough. He didn't block, he missed his block. Coach didn't put me in the game, he called the wrong play. Like, there's nobody to like point fingers at. It's you stepped out there, you laced up your shoes, and you did what you had to do.
Larry?
You're competing against Pedro Pichardo, a guy who's gone over 59 feet this year. Have you looked at any videos and seen this guy jump?
Yeah, I have. I think I've seen like 2 of his jumps. But, that's somebody, putting myself in this environment and seeing guys like that, is just motivating, and knowing what I have to do and what I have to beat. Because when I make the Olympic team, or whenever that is, it will be not to just go to Rio. It'll be to come back with some merchandise of some sort. So, I have to go and, compete with these guys, just like in football. Like, we're not just playing on Sunday just to say we play football. It's a goal at the end, the Super Bowl. And, in track and field, this is the most prestigious way to do that is the Olympics.
Quick follow-up. You seem to be pretty competitive. Are you competitive in everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was missing about football too, is I haven't competed in anything since football. So this weekend will be my first organized competition. Before that, I was playing people in pool, cards, Uno, Connect Four, something to fill the void of competition. So I'll be looking forward to being in an organized competition. And when I say words like when I go to the Olympics, these are big words and big goals that I set for myself. But I know the hard work that goes behind getting to those points. And not by any means am I saying that, or saying it's going to be easy, or these guys should have been did it, or anything. I know I'm going to have to wake up every day with that being my main focus and work hard, the same way I did for football, and that's how I got successful in that.
Have you ever been to a Summer Olympics? And if not, do you have a mental picture of what it would be like for you to walk out and be in the stadium?
Just only seen it on TV. And so I look forward to being able to say I have done that.
Chris?
How often do you talk to Will Clay about his own Olympic experience and his journey there?
Not that often. We more focus on the present kind of. Eventually we probably have that conversation when it's approaching, but we haven't had that conversation yet.
He's a character, so does he remind you of any former teammates with the Giants or anything like that?
Yeah, he kind of quiet actually when he's not competing, but we hang out a lot and we talk trash a little bit. But nah, not for real. We both Geminis. His birthday is Saturday at the meet, and then my birthday is on Monday. But I think he's more on the quiet, chill side. He cool as a whistle though.
You mentioned having to lose weight. It's so different for football, where I'm sure you're probably trying to bulk up for so many years. How challenging was it? How much, you still would go away to get even closer to some of these other guys?
Yeah, because even though I lost all that weight, leaving from football, I only had 7% body fat. So I don't know where I lost the weight from. But it's gone, and I think if I was competing around 185, 180, that'd be about as small as I need to be.
So Will Clay also grew up playing football, and earlier in his career, the decision, I think, going into college was sort of made for him, that track would be the path he pursued. How much has Will talked to you about football and what that career was like?
As I mentioned, he's 145.
Right,
And so, like, he's really, really small. We make jokes all the time about, like, if he was playing football, like, if he had to tackle me, like, coming around the corner on the edge, catching a swing pass or something. And he'd be like, bro, I'll just go straight for your legs. And we'd never talked, we just teased back and forth about his football career. But he played DB and receiver, I think.
You hit the 55, you gonna do a backflip?
Yeah. I might do it anyway if I qualify.
Okay, we have time for maybe one or two more questions before we break off, Larry.
As Will talked about how unusual his 2 medals were in London, you know the whole story? I mean, his long
No.
jump and triple jump medals are, I think there's 2 other guys who've done that in Olympic history.
Yeah.
Along with a triple.
Yeah, no, he didn't mention it, but I was aware that he had both of those in there.